Hi friends, thank you for tuning in to the Concussion Coach podcast. I'm Bethany Lewis, the Concussion Coach. I'm a neurological occupational therapist and certified life coach, and I specialize in guiding people through their concussion recovery journey. I am passionate about helping people understand their injury, speed up their recovery, and reclaim control over their life post-concussion. The purpose of this podcast is to help increase awareness of concussions and the impact they can have on a person's life, and to bring hope to people who have suffered a concussion and those who love them. I firmly believe that sharing stories and knowledge about concussions will bring important light and understanding to this misunderstood and often invisible injury. The information in this podcast is meant to bring that awareness and hope and is not meant as medical advice. The opinions shared are those of the interviewees and my own. If you are suffering with lingering concussion symptoms, I have created a concussion coaching program specifically for you. I will be your mentor to guide you through your recovery journey, offering help with understanding and managing your symptoms, setting achievable goals, and learning how to manage your own thoughts and nervous system in order to get control over your life again. If this program sounds like something that would help you or someone you love, sign up for a free consultation. In the consultation, you'll get valuable information and resources and gain hope for your future. Sign up for your free consultation at the link in the show notes or at my website, www.theconcussioncoach.com. Hi friends, welcome back to the Concussion Coach podcast. Before I introduce my guest today, I just wanted to make sure that you know about the free guide that is available on my website. It's the 5 best ways to support your loved one dealing with a concussion. If you have a friend or family member who is struggling with post-concussion symptoms, or if you're the one struggling and would like your loved ones to know more about what you're going through and how they can help, head over to my website, www.theconcussioncoach.com, and download the free guide. I am so excited to be having this conversation today. I get to bring on someone who I just think the world of. Her name is Emily Waechtler. She's a bright ray of sunshine, and I'm so happy to have her share with you her story and her perspective. It's just, she's awesome. So be excited, everybody. So here's a quick little bio. Emily is a small business owner, mother of 2 daughters in their early 20s, and married to her husband for almost 27 years. They live on the central coast of California and love time at the beach as a family. So thank you so much for being here, Emily. I'm so excited.
Wow. I'm very excited, Bethany. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right in and have you tell us a little bit about your experience here. Tell us about your injury. What happened? How long ago was it?
Okay. So it's been almost a year and a half. I got hit in the head, not last August, but the August before. I was surfing. My surfboard clocked me, and it hit me on the side of my head above my ear. And when it hit me, I actually felt my brain hit the other side of my skull. And I came up just clutching my head. And we have we live in a small community. We usually know all the guys in the water, and a friend saw me come up. He knew I got hit bad. He made sure I made it to the sand. I made it up to where the cars were, and I think was probably in a adrenaline state. I was like, oh, just my head hurts, but I'm like smiling. Everyone's asking, what's your birthday? What's your address? And I knew all the answers. They're like, okay, you're fine. And as I was smiling, I think where I got hit maybe damaged some muscles because my jaw really hurt. I couldn't smile anymore. It hurt too much to smile. And I'm just like, take me home, husband. And yeah, that was it. Just a stupid mistake in the water.
That's how these things happen sometimes. It's just a random thing, very unexpected, right?
Yeah.
So how much did you know about concussions prior to this experience?
That is so funny because that was something I thought of a few days later. I always thought, it means you got hit in the head really hard and that's it. Like you're going to feel better in a couple hours or a couple days. And I had no idea how full encompassing the symptoms were at all.
Yep. Yes. I think you are not alone in that. That unpleasant surprise there. So what were the symptoms that you were experiencing?
In the beginning, just a raging headache, a lot of dizziness. The symptom that maybe I later discovered was dizziness, but I know in the beginning I could only describe it like a buzzing, and not really a sound, but just like a vibrating, just like feeling. I couldn't focus on any thoughts. any like sound or light or just so easily stimulated, a lot of emotional just upheaval, very dazed, easily stressed, no energy. Um, yeah, just kind of sitting on the couch staring at the wall a lot.
And I'm curious how your family reacted to that. I'm guessing that's not your normal. So
No,
what were they like, oh yeah, you had a concussion, or did they understand it? Did they know, or how did that play out?
that's funny. When it first happened and we're at the beach, one of our friends runs over. His wife has had post-concussion symptoms for a couple years, and he's like, "It might be a concussion. I'm going to send you an article." It was actually from Cognitive FX. "I'm going to send you an article. The doctors, the doctors aren't really going to be able to help, but there's a list of things you don't want to do." So he sends the article on my phone. And then when we get home, I'm like, "Mark, no way am I going to be able to read this or understand this. Will you look at it and let me know if I have a concussion?" He reads over it. He's like, "Nope, you don't have a concussion." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He turns on the TV. He gives me some pain meds. He watches a movie with me, which was nice because it was a beautiful day. He wanted to be at the beach, but he sits inside, watches a movie with me. And after the first movie, he gets me set up with another movie. He's like, "I'll be at the beach." And then later, I look at this article. It's like, "No TV, no pain meds, don't leave them alone." Uh, so initially, none of us knew what was going on. But after a
Mhm.
couple days, I remember my husband, my parents had called. They didn't know. And then they found out, like, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm not good."
Mhm.
Um, and I guess they talked to Mark and they're like, "I think she needs to go to the doctor." He's like, "Me too." He didn't let me know how stressed out he was about the way I was behaving. It was making him scared. But
Yeah.
um, I think none of us really knew what to do in the beginning.
Yeah. Yes, that's fair, and I think a very common experience there. So what did you end up doing? How did
Yeah,
it play out here?
that day that my parents were like, "This isn't right." And then we all kind of were like, "Yeah, this is like 3 or 4 days into it. What do we do?" And so my daughter was home. She drove me to the urgent care.
Mhm.
Again, the doctor gave me a sheet of paper and had me check off what symptoms I was feeling. He's like, "Yep, you have a concussion. You should be feeling good in a couple weeks. Here's a list of what not to do." And then sent me home and said, "Follow up with your primary care doctor,"
Mhm.
which I did. And it was more of the same. "Yep, you have a concussion. Oh, it's been 2 weeks. It'll probably be 2 months. Just keep doing what you're doing or not doing."
It's just so hard to hear like this is happening, and it's not their fault, right? Like that's
Yeah.
what they know to do to
Yeah.
help you. But did they sit down and talk with you about what those things not to do are and why, or was it just like, here's a list, read it?
I think it was just kind of, "Here's a list, read it," or just like, lay low on the screens, just do what
Mhm.
you can, rest. I
Mhm.
mean, all that was true. Um, and I think at one point the primary care provider referred me to a physical therapist, which I did for a while and was helpful. Um, and who else? Oh, and he referred me to a neurologist who was scheduling 3 months out. So
Mhm.
that was just, and I understand also them in the beginning because a lot of people do feel good after a week or two. So
Mhm.
hard to know at what point do you dig deeper, like when you're like, these symptoms aren't going away.
Yeah, yeah. And I think there's research and things that are hopefully moving things forward so that people and providers are better informed as to what signs to be looking for and things like that. But
Uh,
but I think
oh,
it's going to take a while for that to get
yeah.
to all the people. But okay, so did you, yeah, how did, I guess, what
what did you end up doing at that point? Did you just kind of lay low for a while, or how did it keep playing out?
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, I had a trip to Italy, my dream trip already planned, which was 5 weeks out from the injury. And I asked my primary care like a week before, I'm like, do you think I'm okay to go on an airplane? And he's like, oh, yeah, fine. You'll be fine. And so I went to Italy for, I think it was 10 days, but I told the girls I went with, I'm like, guys, you're going to be my brain. I'm not doing any thinking. I can't do any planning. I'm just going to follow along and just go where you go. And I felt pretty good there. I had no cooking, no cleaning, no thinking, just like walking around in paradise.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But then after that, I came home. I'm like, gosh, I must be better. And I started to try and do life like I used to, and I wasn't better. Dang
Mm,
it.
darn it. So how was the flight for you?
Horrible.
Okay.
It was 12 hours. And when we landed, my first thought was, how am I going to get home? Because I can't do that plane ride again.
Oh.
And I was like, maybe I could do like a boat. I don't know how I'm going to do this. It was hard.
It was rough. Okay. But then on the way back, was it like you were feeling better because you had not had to do anything and just kind of
Yeah.
spend time and relax? And were you at
The
a better
way
place?
back was better in some ways. Like I did watch some of the movies that you could watch. I thought I'd be fine with the screens and stuff, but it was just like having car sickness. I mean, I was a little nauseous, not a whole, like I wasn't throwing up, but just that dizzy and just the full body, just feeling it in my full body for 12 hours and just hanging in there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So other than the traveling part,
Yeah,
the
yes,
actual
yeah.
like the trip itself was good, other than the
Yeah, because we just walked
getting there.
around. We just
Mhm.
walked around, sat by the sea. It was nice.
Does
And I
sound
didn't
quite
have to
heavenly.
think. I didn't have to plan out any bus rides. They like hand me my ticket and I just followed them where they went. That
That's
was
great.
good.
It does sound quite nice, actually. Um, awesome. Okay, so you got back and you realized, okay, this isn't actually over yet.
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Um, gosh, that was a while ago. Yeah, just hanging on, hanging in there,
Did
doing
you end
what
up
I could. Go ahead.
did you end up trying therapies or doing things like what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I got home after like a month, I think that's when I started the physical therapist and I started to go to my chiropractor once a week. And
Mhm.
he wasn't manipulating bones or anything. He was just gently rubbing my head and my neck. And at that point, I still could not open my jaw without pain. So he was helping me, get those muscles relaxed. And I'm still seeing him about once a 4 to 6 weeks and still just he doesn't have to be as gentle with me, but I leave very relaxed and I still really love seeing him.
Good, good. I'm so glad. And he's not
Yeah.
necessarily, was he like a concussion specialist or is he
No,
a
but
chiropractor
funny,
who thankfully knew how to help you?
he yeah, I used to actually work in the first chiropractor office that he started his practice at. So I known him since the beginning of his career. Um, and so I just love him. But when I went in with the concussion, he's like, I just finished like a cranial something, like some kind of concussion seminar, like where we learned how to, I don't know what the right words are, but learned how to like rub the head and
Hmm. Do things that helped.
yeah, exactly. Yes.
Do you know, was it craniosacral therapy? Was he doing
Maybe
that?
because that word sounds familiar.
Okay, but
Probably
we're not
that's what
sure,
it
but
was.
okay, but that's good. I'm glad
Yeah.
I love that he's continuing to learn and doing things that are
Yes.
like legitimately helpful. That's so
Yes. Yes.
good. Love that.
Yeah.
Anybody else that you went and saw, or like what else was as you've been
Well,
through?
yeah. And well, and probably soon after that, I found your podcast. And that, Bethany, it's been so helpful. It's been so helpful listening to other people's stories and just feeling like, oh my gosh, them too, because most people in my world don't understand what I'm trying to express. A lot of people sympathize and understand what I'm trying to tell them, but I know they don't quite, they've never experienced it. We're listening to the people on your podcast. I'm like, they've experienced it. I know what they mean when they say this. And that means they know what I mean. And then also the professionals that you talk to too, just getting that education has been so helpful.
Oh, that means so much to me.
Ah,
So thankful to hear that.
oh my
Yeah, that's
gosh.
exactly why I do it because there are so many people out there who are
It's
not.
working. It's
Yeah,
working.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Even if it's just you, I'm so glad that
I
this has
don't think
happened
it's just
quickly.
me, but yeah, it's huge to hear that.
Thank you.
And that was before I signed up to have my sessions with you. The stories, like you've had people on here who have had not very mild brain injuries, and I was like, I don't think mine's bad enough to talk to her. But after a while, when my symptoms weren't going away, I'm like, what's the harm? I do want to talk to her, and it's helped so much, so much.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I guess we should let people know that the way I found you or that I know you is because you came and did a consultation, then we got
Yeah,
to work together. It was
yeah.
such like a joy for me, to be honest. I've learned so much from you.
Oh
Um,
gosh,
but
no
I
way.
I appreciate so much that you're willing to come on here and share like you've been helped by other people's stories and you're sharing your story. I think
Yeah.
it's just so meaningful and so good. And I appreciate you bringing up that point that you were like it. It's funny how we compare our own experience to other people's experiences, even though we know that our everything is so unique and so like everybody's degree of difficulty is different anyway.
Yeah.
But yes, it's like, oh well, I'm not as bad as that, or oh, I'm way worse than that, and so maybe this doesn't apply to me. But really, like
Yeah.
I think there are principles that apply to everybody, even people who don't have a brain injury. Like a lot of the stuff that we talk about and that we're working
Yes.
on is just basic human need, like how like our nervous system works and all of these things.
Yes.
So I just, yeah, I appreciate
Yes.
you bringing that point out and hope that people out there who are listening, like it's if you're dealing with something and it's challenging, it's worth looking into. So,
Yes. I now believe that. Yes.
awesome. And I'm
Yes.
not saying necessarily me, although I would love for people to come and chat with me. I love doing the
Uh,
consults. I love working with people and coaching. But really, like you are worth getting help for. So like
oh,
if you're
yes.
struggling at
That's
all,
true.
find someone that can help. And there are people out there who can help. So thank you
So
for
true. Yes.
letting me share that. So prior to working with together, you and me, you had
Mhm.
done the chiropractic that was very helpful.
Mhm.
Did you end up seeing the PT back
Yes.
then too?
Yeah. I did a 6 week because that's what the insurance approved. And at the end of the 6 weeks, I remember I had a migraine and they're like, well, today you graduate because my insurance was done. And I'm like, oh, I guess
Yeah.
I'm done with PT. And so I thought that must mean I'm better now, which I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. And I still do exercises to this day that they've given me.
Yeah.
It was helpful. Um, I mean, and like I think a few people I've talked to, because the symptoms are so multifaceted, it will, I've noticed, take more than one provider to address all of those. So, yes, the PT has helped. And I think I was just assuming all along that one person was going to know all of what I needed. And I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, actually, when you say that, it reminds me of like talking to people who've gone to clinics and things where they've gotten multiple help from multiple sources,
Yeah.
and make really good progress. but then there's still some things that they still need to get a little bit more help on too. So it's just it is a
Yeah.
journey, it's a
Yeah.
process, and you're right. And I do really strongly, well, feel like having the belief that I will be made aware of the things that I need to do and know at the time that I need to know them and when I'm ready for them
Yeah.
is that just is it's definitely a choice to believe that or not.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but I think it can be very helpful just to kind of be open to what is out there for you that will help you and just kind of trust that you'll find it at the right time because like you said, it's a process. It's not a one and done
Yeah.
ever, as far as
Yeah.
I know. Um,
Yeah.
but there are a lot
It's
of
true.
places and people who can make a very significant impact in recovery. And
Yes.
so,
Yes.
so awesome. Thank you. So, and I remember you telling me that you, after like you were struggling for a while, you got the help from the chiropractor and the PT, and you did start to feel a little bit better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I did. I felt like I started doing more things. I surfed a few times and then I had I'm calling it a relapse where I realized I had been doing too much, a lot more symptoms kind of came back in and I had to learn. That was when I found you and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm signing up with Bethany. And then you help me just like pay attention to what I'm doing when I'm feeling good and then what is it that I'm doing that pushes me past that, and you kind of help me um, stay in that good zone and then slowly add in little bits so that I could increase that good zone, and that was so helpful.
Hmm. Yes. Oh, good, good, good. And I do
Yeah.
think that that whole idea of understanding what's going on in our body and what are the things that are like what's causing what's going on in our body, understanding that piece and giving ourselves a lot of grace through the process.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then yes, working on just tweaking things. And it can be a process of figuring that out too. It's not always it, and that's what's so hard about this injury in particular, I think, is that it's very rarely a direct correlation of like I did this thing and then I felt this way. It's like, well, who
Yeah.
knows of all the things that I did, like what was it that
Yes.
tipped it over, or was it the combination of them, or
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes. The compiling factor.
yeah. Yes. But being in tune with your body and understanding what like knowing when you need to take breaks because you're starting to feel a certain way and then giving yourself those breaks. It's a big deal. Um,
Yes.
to
Yeah.
keep yourself out of those higher the red zone or whatever, right? Like that's it does
Yes.
make a
Yeah.
difference.
And I also think, I mean, with time, as I was having pockets of feeling good, it was easier to see when the feeling bad came up. In the beginning, I was feeling bad all the time. So it was hard to know what exactly I was doing to make it worse. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Where
Yeah.
I was doing things not realizing it wasn't helping because I just wasn't feeling good no matter what I was doing.
You said once you started feeling better, you were able to see
Yes.
more clearly what were the things that were uh, causing you to not feel well.
Yes.
Do you want to share any of those things that you
Oh,
discovered?
that were causing me not to feel well. Yes. I think that I'm noticing um, I have a limit to socializing that is less than before. Like I definitely hit a max sooner than I would like to. And then
Mhm.
the same with exercise. I can't push myself with exercise without having symptoms stir up. And then with the vestibular, like vertigo symptoms, definitely like body and head positioning can trigger stuff.
Mhm. Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's, and honestly, um, that's really helpful, I think, for people to hear just to know, okay, maybe these are the things, maybe these are the things. And all of those, like, and I know we talked about ways to mitigate the social part of like how to plan, how to like what to do ahead of time and then during and then after so that you can best set yourself up for success in the social situations as well as with exercise. And you're like in your journey still. It's not like you're like
Yes.
on the total other side and you can be like, this happened and this is how it went and this is how I nicely tied it up with a bow. Like
I'm
it's
waiting for
still
that, and it's coming.
it's coming. But I just like I said, I really appreciate your willingness to come on and share this as like in process, right? Because you have seen such good progress and
Yeah.
are able to do so much more
Yeah.
with the knowledge that you have. And I have high hopes that you will continue to make good progress in all of these areas. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so can we talk about maybe as like things that you learned or things that are helpful for you in relation to the the
Sure.
social or the exercise or anything else
Yeah.
found along the way?
Yeah. Well, with the social, I'm just, with your help, I'm learning how to let my friends know that I do have a limit that's not as high as I would like.
Mhm.
And thankfully, they're all wonderful and they have grace. And and just knowing that myself, I'm learning to have grace with myself because that can also trigger those emotions that are still a little weak in me and I can get guilty or sad. And
Mhm.
so I'm that just learning how to work with that. um but I'm also not I a while back, I really pulled back, and that wasn't helping either. Not having enough social was making me depressed and just isolated and lonely. So just learning that fine little zone, and I have increased it, and I'm so happy. Um, and then kind of the same with the exercise. Same thing where I'm doing way less than I'd like to, but still doing some and can do more than I was. Um, so thankful for that. And then I forget what the other one I said was, but
The body and head positioning was the other one that you mentioned.
yeah, and I'm still working on the exercises.
Mhm.
Um, I have a possible plan with my neurologist to do a test to try and see um, where that's coming from, if it is a vertigo thing, and then maybe get a more prescribed exercise regime to try and work through that.
Perfect. Yes, and I love that perspective that you shared on I and kind of that it is similar with both the social and the exercise pieces of like I that you're working towards it. You understand where you're at and you're taking baby steps and you're further than you were in the past.
Yes.
You recognize and it is like this is part of again what's so complicated about all of this is that like you said it's for the on the social piece like having none same with exercise like having none is not good for us even though
Yeah.
but doing any sometimes feels overwhelming and like impossible and so
Yeah.
like finding that where okay like what is doable and then let's
Yes.
gradually baby step that up so that we get more and more of it because they are
Yes.
both of those are actually key to healing so we need
Yes.
or healing happens in connection. Like we need to be connected with each other, with our higher
Mhm.
power, with nature. Like we need to have that connection. And we need exercise. Exercise is actually really, really key part of healing the brain. So,
Yes.
so yes, like I appreciate your bringing up that complexity there of like how do we find that balance? And I think you're a perfect example, and I hope everybody sees that of it is possible to find. Like even if it's way less than
Yeah.
you want it to be at the moment,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's okay to be where you are. Let's figure out what is doable and then work towards increasing that. It does make a big difference. So,
Yeah.
and it is possible. So I really do appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I like the point that you made too about grace and giving like that your friends are it's so funny how much a little bit of like information can just give so much understanding and have people be so much more understanding and willing to give grace, and not that they're unwilling in the otherwise, but it's just easier to be like, oh my gosh, I see you, right? Like I know what you're
Yeah.
dealing with, or at least I have an idea of what you're dealing with. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to give you all the grace, and then you can give yourself some of that as well. And I don't know, I just think I appreciate you sharing that. Like it can be scary. Tell me about that piece. Like, why didn't you want to tell people?
Oh, yeah, I think that I was already in my head feeling whiny a lot, and I didn't want that to spill out too much and just be, I didn't want to be a whiny, complainy
Mm,
when I was with people. And I also wanted to just kind of pretend and show up like I was good so I could have that moment of I'm good,
mm,
and not have this moment be about how is Emily feeling.
mm,
I
mm.
wanted to just enjoy the moment for what it was and not have it be about Emily's limits.
Okay, I think that's going to resonate with so many people. I'm so
Oh,
grateful you said
good.
that.
Oh,
How how have you worked through that, or does it still come up, or have you noticed, sorry, I'm like asking all the questions, but
yeah.
like has that continued to be a concern and a problem as you've shared with people? Like did it play out the way you were fearing it would play out?
I think at this point, the people that I'm with the most all understand now through my clunky way of expressing myself that they do know that there's still limits. Um, and they've all just been so gracious about it. Oh, I'm now forgetting what the second part of the question was.
Oh,
Sorry.
I don't remember either.
Okay.
You're good. I
um,
asked like five
uh,
questions, so
okay.
that's on me, not on you.
No, but yeah, I think and I think that's part of this problem too, is I have a hard time expressing all these thoughts in my head. I have a hard time processing a lot and getting them out. Um, so I think me trying to express how I'm feeling, I don't know if it's coming out super legibly or not.
Mm.
Um, I think people are probably getting it more than I think they are, possibly. Yeah, it's all been good. No one has like been, oh, Emily, you're faking it, or why don't you just do more? I think that um, it's been fine. I
Yeah.
I would have loved, and I think my daughters maybe listen to one or two of your podcasts. I think it would be, I would like everything I listen, I'm like, ooh, that's what I need to remember to tell people. That's what I need to, and it actually has helped give me words to share with people.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so
Yeah.
good to hear. And yes, you bring up something. Let's go ahead and dive here. What would you say to the people who are loving and helping someone, who care about somebody who's
Yeah.
dealing with this? What
Yeah.
advice would you give them?
One thing that I loved and maybe wished I had more of, especially in the beginning, when I knew I needed to go outside and take a walk. And in the very beginning, I couldn't even make it around the block. And part of it was all the stimulation and just not having the energy. But part of it was I had zero brain motivation to just get up at all. And
Mm,
I think that if I knew what I know now, I think I would have asked my family, can you please once a day take me for a walk?
mm,
And like we'll start small and you can kind of be my personal trainer and just help me increase. But I need someone to also be my motivation because I didn't have any of that.
mm,
And I think the same with, because I still live, my daughters live where we live. And my husband's here and he's my best friend. So we're always with each other when we can be. I was getting socializing at home, which was good. I'm imagining some people maybe don't have such a full house. So that would be something. And my husband was good when we did leave the house together, that he knew that I had a very small window of safe socializing, and he helped me know when I should close the door and head home.
mm, mm.
So yes, that's how yeah, people have helped me. And then also my family and friends have been very good at when I do want to share how I'm feeling that day or just something I've learned, they patiently listen,
Mm.
which I know I'm very thankful for my daughters because they probably got the most of it. And they'll just, yes, mama, huh? Oh, interesting, which was nice of them.
I love that. I love your support system. I'm so grateful that
I
you
do
have
too.
such a good one.
Yeah.
That is huge. And I just want to like call out the points that you made there because I think they're such important things and I appreciate you sharing them. So the um listening to you, like so somebody who's listening to this can take maybe some takeaways of like good ways to support your person is to listen to them, to believe them, to educate yourself. Like you said, that they'll listen to some of the podcast episodes or whatever, like um, find out more about what the person is dealing with, and help with getting out and going on walks. I don't know, when you were talking about that, it reminded me of a friend I have who had a concussion and she and her husband would go on walks and she was like, I drive him crazy now because I can't walk in a straight line. I keep running into him the whole time. So
Oh,
maybe be prepared for something like that. You
oh,
might have to
that's
support
funny.
them to get out the door and also to not wander
And
into the middle of the street.
physically support. Yes, I
Yes.
love that.
And then there was one other thing that is now leaving my mind of something that you had said that they did that was helpful. But I do think that it's so good that yeah, they were there for you and
Yeah.
helped you know when your limit was in social
Yes.
situations and helped
Yes.
you leave. So that can be very helpful too. So, because yeah, I think as anybody, like if you're in the middle of a conversation or you're doing stuff, and like you were saying before, you don't want to appear to be limited in any way. So you want to like, and you want to feel like yourself. And so it's understandable that people would naturally try to like end up pushing themselves further. And so sometimes it can be very helpful to have, yeah, a loved one, somebody advocating for you, helping you maybe
Yeah.
politely leave or whatever
Yeah.
needs to
And
happen.
also I think probably more earlier on, I didn't understand where my limit was, but my family saw
Hmm.
the outcome of me pushing my limit. So they would remind me, Mom, you've maybe been talking for an hour. You're going to feel really bad if you keep going. And I'd be like, oh, because right now I feel fine, but it's possible when I step away, it's all going to hit me.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh, such a good point.
Yeah.
That self-awareness is sometimes not there. And a lot
Yeah.
of it is very common for the loved ones, the family members who know you well, to be able to see it before you do. Like people talk about like, oh yeah, I see a look in their eye, or like I know I can see it in them. I know that they're reaching their limit or whatever. And so
Yeah.
that can
Yeah.
be really good. Awesome. That's so helpful. Thank you. And I'm
Yeah.
curious, did you use was it helpful to have a like the gauge system kind of language like to talk to your family
Yes.
about that? Like, hey, here's how I'm feeling without having to describe it. Like,
Very helpful. I think we'd all been kind of like bumbly. Like we had like a system that wasn't a system. Like I had shared enough that they were understanding that I had limits. But once I explained that gauge system that you shared with me and that was on your podcast, I, me explaining it, they all knew what I was saying. But then we all finally had like a language and like a system that made it so much easier.
yes, yes, absolutely. So we'll link to that episode
Hmm.
in the show notes here for that. But yes, the having a common language and for you it was colors made sense. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm in the red
Yes.
zone, or I'm getting
Yes.
into yellow, so I need to like calm down. Other people like there's a lot of different analogies you can use, but basically like have some way of defining what it feels like when you're in a different, my battery is at 10%. Like, what does that
Yeah.
look like? And let
Yes.
people know ahead of time so that then when you tell them like, hey, I'm in the red or my battery's low, like they'll understand what you're meaning and not, you don't have to come up with the words and spend the energy trying to describe what that means. So, um,
Totally.
yeah, good. I'm glad that that was
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me what and maybe what things were most helpful for you in discovering and loving yourself post concussion? Because it sounds like
Okay.
it's been a big like shift in what you can do and what you're capable of. So, and I know that's really hard for a lot of people. So
Mhm.
how have you handled that? How have you loved yourself through that or learned who you are?
Really, again, I'm coming back to you, Bethany, just like listening to the podcast and also having you help me with just understanding my emotions and how I'm processing things. That has helped so much. And just knowing that, because until I talked to you about that emotional part, it really clicked when you reminded me and educated me on how this mild brain injury was affecting my nervous system, and which is my emotional system. You explained it so much better, but it I just was like, okay, it's not really me that's having these negative thoughts. It's still this injury, and that really helped me give myself grace, which was so helpful. And then my faith, big time, my faith. Just,
So beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
It
just, yeah, trusting God and just knowing that He knows what's going on and He's going to bring me healing. So that helps a lot.
I love you so much. Yes. Right? How do we do anything without him?
I know.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I like got chilled while you were talking about that. It really
Oh,
does make such a difference. Like um believing that there's purpose and power behind this and
yes.
reason and help available. Like that makes literally all the difference. And then I appreciate you sharing about the understanding the nervous system and how your responses are not a reflection on your own moral character. It's
Yeah.
like this is your brain and body responding in a way to try to keep you safe, and it doesn't feel safe for all of these multiple reasons. And so,
Yeah.
yes, like yes, it's huge. So
It is.
I
Yeah.
really, really appreciate that. Thank you, and hope that people out there can hear that and know it is possible to discover and love yourself through this. Like it's available and there are things that can help. So thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear too if there's any like what advice would you give to yourself in the early days of your recovery? If you could go back in time, what would you
Right.
say to you?
Um, I think I was really good at resting.
Good.
That's one of my superpowers. Um, but I think mentally I was still like, get up, just get up and do it, you know. And I think from all that I've learned through this is that rest really is important, and that I didn't even though I was mentally trying to speed up the process, that wasn't speeding up the process. It was probably just making me more frustrated. But again, in the beginning, the doctors all said 2 weeks, 2 months. And so I kind of had the false impression that it was going to be quicker. So yeah, looking back, I would have been easier on myself and just um, you know, not tried to speed it up with my own thoughts because that wasn't helping. Also, I would have started those high intensity interval trainings that you really explained so well to me why it was important. And once I started doing it, I think that's been helping so much. Those two, I think, being easy on myself and starting the hit uh, intervals.
Yeah. Okay. So those again, exercise is medicine. Like exercise really does matter. But it's so funny, and I love that you're bringing up this like dichotomy of like rest really matters, and like it's okay for you to give yourself rest,
Yeah.
and also like keep your
Yeah.
body moving, which is what
Yes.
you were like mad at yourself for not doing earlier. So it's so funny just how it's so complicated.
It's so
So
complicated.
there's
And
a lot of room for grace here. Like, give yourself
and
compassion because it's crazy. Like all of this is just so funny.
and funny again, I mean, I know we talked about it earlier, but that multifaceted, like you need to rest, you need to exercise, your emotions are crazy, like all the things that it's like I didn't realize until you that the emotions were even a part of this injury. Like it affected every single part of my body
Yes.
and my hormones. I am
I was
in
just
my
going to say hormones. I'm
50s.
so glad that you
Yes.
brought that up.
Yes, I wanted to bring it up as well because I know not every patient um, is in a fragile hormone state as a 50-something-year-old woman. I know you had talked to someone who had just had a baby and she was in a different fragile hormonal state. And she was talking about how that was affected. It's definitely, I think, a portion of this as well. I know it is.
Oh, it 100% is. I really do appreciate you bringing that up. I wish it's something that I understood better because I don't. Like even for myself, like there's so many
Yeah.
times where I'm like, who came up with this idea that hormones like was a good thing? I don't understand like the
Yes.
way that they impact
Yes.
emotions and like complete irrational. Anyway, it plays into this too. So just again,
Yes.
so much room for self-compassion because there's so much going
Yes.
on that and not I don't I there are a lot of people who are doing a lot of really smart people who are doing a lot of really important research and still nobody knows everything about it and can just be like
Yeah.
here this is why all of this is happening like we are still figuring things out um so yes
One interesting thing, I before the injury had been taking hormone replacement therapy.
Mhm.
Um, After the injury, when I saw my naturopath, my levels had drastically changed. Like it threw off my balance,
I believe it.
my hormonal balance.
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Yes.
Both. Yes.
So did they change how you were like what you were doing as far as
Yeah,
that goes?
she changed my levels and um that helped some of what I was dealing with. It
Mhm.
it took the edge off for sure.
Awesome. Oh, that's so good to know. Thank you for bringing that up
Yeah.
on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's so important for people to hear. Um, Awesome. Thank you. Um, what let's chat for just a second if it's okay.
Mhm. Yes.
What are you still dealing with? Like we said, we're still like
Oh
we're
yeah.
not all tied up with a bow.
Yeah.
How are you doing today and what keeps you going?
So yeah, I do still deal with the dizziness. Vertigo is a new term I'm using just because I recently had a appointment with a neurologist and he was using that word. I don't understand the difference between vertigo and vestibular. Maybe they're the same, but I have the dizziness and it happens if I swim on my back or I shake my head really fast or no way would I do a somersault or a cartwheel right now.
Mhm.
Um, and even certain I am doing exercises, but if I don't, my eye teaming when they converge, that I still have a hard time with. And apparently that's related to the vestibular system.
Mhm.
So those are some things I'm working with. I also still have to do the sub threshold exercise, sub threshold socializing. Um, and what keeps me going is when I remind myself to see how much more I can do than I could. And again, my faith, knowing that there is more healing to come.
Mhm. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Thank you. And that
Oh,
just reminds me of
thanks.
um that I just hold on. Like loving everything you just said. So reminding yourself how much you can do currently versus how much you could do in the past. I think that's the concept of the gap and the gain. I don't know if you've read that book, but it's,
Uh-uh.
like in any if we have a goal or we're trying to do something, we can always look and we're in process, you can always look forward and see how much you have left to go, which sometimes
Yes.
for some people might be inspiring, like, oh, look, I can reach that mountain. But sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, I have so much further to go and I
Yes.
am crappy where I'm at right now. Or
Yeah.
we can turn around and look how far we've come and be like, okay, I can do this. And sometimes those little wins are little, like it seems little, but it's a big deal. Like
Yes.
I had a little bit more energy to spend 5 more minutes with my grandkid today or whatever, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it seems small, but it's those small things that make up life. Like it's a
It
big
is.
thing.
It's true. And
Yeah.
those little things, so many of them add up to be a big thing.
Yes, yes. And so I
Yeah.
love, yes, I appreciate you bringing up that perspective. Like you can look back and see how far you've come. And that's very good advice for anybody in any situation of life. Like it's okay and good to look ahead, see what we're aiming for, but also take time to look back and see the blessings that have brought you to this point and where you're at and the progress you have made. Really makes a difference. Um, and what you're saying too with the like the physiological piece of, there are things that can be done to help with your otoliths and the vestibular system and all of the like there are therapies and there's things to do. And we've talked about some of those and everybody, and wherever they're at, there's different things available based on location and finances and all of the things. Like there's just so many things that make this complex. But there are things that can help on that side. But I know my friend Natasha Wilch talks about kind of a triangle of pieces that are important for concussion recovery.
Uh-huh.
Physiological piece is key. It will make a huge, huge difference. But there's the lifestyle piece, the like pacing and the understanding what's going on and strategizing how to handle situations. And
Yeah.
then there's the psychological piece, that mental emotional component of dealing with a chronic illness or a chronic issue, right? Like so,
Yeah.
and those pieces, which is kind of what we've mostly focused on in the coaching, that can make all the difference. And like they all play into each other. Like
Yes.
physiologically, you're going to be so much better having those other pieces in place.
Yes.
Like you'll get more gain out of that. And as you're feeling better physiologically, you'll also be able to like handle more on the other side as well. Like it's just
Yes.
they play into
Yes.
each other so much, and it's really important to get help on all of those sides. So
Yes.
um,
Yes.
I appreciate you bringing all of that up as well.
Hmm.
Um, is there anything, okay, I know we're running short on time here, and we can just kind of like combine these things. If there's anything
Sure.
like, as far as lessons that you've learned or things that you would recommend to people who are having a setback, like how have you grown through this
Okay.
experience? And
Yes.
what would you say to someone who's struggling to feel hope in their current situation?
Okay. Well, definitely for me, advice I would give someone in the middle of a setback or just someone just in this journey, education has been huge. And I mean, you were my source for that because I couldn't find it anywhere else. And just hearing the experts on your podcast and the stories, like I already said, I think that has helped me in multiple phases of my journey, 100%. Um, the other thing that did not help me was when I tried to isolate, which was before I learned about the safe zone. That was me in my safe zone, but I, I made that safe zone very small, and maybe I had to at that time, and I stayed there, and that didn't help. That was not good. But then on the other side of that, don't push. Just like we said, it's that same thing. It's like too little isn't good, too much isn't good.
Yeah.
Um, and one of the other things that I remember in the first week or two of this injury was, whoa, I have so much more compassion for people who have brains that work different than mine. And that doesn't mean that they're healthy or not healthy, just there are so many ways brains work, and you don't get to you can't change how your brain works. Like you can, and like as I'm healing, I can see how certain things I do are good for my brain, certain things are not good, but we're all given a brain, and I just had so much compassion over everyone's brains, no matter how they worked.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So I do everybody listening, do you see why I love her so much? Like
Oh,
you're
stop.
so I love the insights that you share. I learned so
Mm,
much from them. But yes, that's such a good point. Like it does give us a lot of mm, it's easier to have compassion and grace for people when we have had a little bit of a taste or again that little understanding goes a long way.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so that's beautiful. Thank you. And what um is there anything else that we haven't covered that you want to make sure gets out there for people to hear and know about with
Gosh.
concussions or your experience? Hmm.
Um, I can't think. I mean, I feel like if I say something now, it would probably just be repeating something I already said.
Which honestly wouldn't be a bad thing because you said a lot of good things.
Oh,
Repetition is good sometimes, but
yeah,
but that's okay.
I guess I just have really loved getting educated in how our brains work. I've loved hearing what is healthy for our brains. Oh, I've loved all your episodes about going out in nature and just all the things that are as a I homeschooled my girls, and them growing up, we really prioritize nature and being outside, and knowing as with a growing child what is good for their development. It's interesting to see the full circle now, what's good for my brain development.
Yes.
That that's been cool to see that full circle.
It is so fascinating. I love that you brought this up because that is something that I've like has come to me a lot as I've learned from people as well, is like brain development is, yeah, like there are so many things that happen for kids in their development that if you've had a brain injury, like needs to happen the same way, like similar things.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
and yes, and I love that the emphasis on nature. That's probably why you're so grounded. Like there's a lot, being outside helps us be
uh,
grounded. So that's
uh,
awesome.
that's
Um,
funny. Yeah.
that reminds me, yesterday I got to volunteer at the kids' school. They had like a mental health
Oh,
fair thing.
perfect.
And yeah,
Yeah.
it was, I mean, it was chaos, but it was fun. I got to man the table that was about Earth, and it was like being
Ah,
in nature can be calming and grounding. And I was like, oh, this is great. I love this.
that's so
But
perfect.
they
How
just like
fun.
came and did Play-Doh and like had to make something. Anyway, that's totally random, but that's what it
Oh, I
makes.
love that
So
though.
it's
I love
important for
it.
kids to know this, and it's important for adults to know it. So
Yes. Yes.
awesome. Well, thank you again
Thanks,
for
Bethany.
sharing your light with us. I really
Oh
appreciate your
gosh. Thank
perspective.
you.
And um and if people want to hear more from you or contact you, how could they do that? What would be the best way?
Yes. Well, I have a small business. I make Sunhats. I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm not really talking about my concussion journey, but I love to DM with people if they want to have conversations. I am Emily underscore blue corduroy on Instagram. And if they want to email, I am Emily dot blue corduroy at Gmail.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And we can put
Yeah.
those in the show notes so people can do that.
Okay.
And yes,
Okay.
your sun hats are adorable. I
Oh,
love all
thank
the
you.
posts that you put, and all, yes,
Thank you.
it's a beautiful product. So,
Thank you. Well, thank
well,
you, Bethany, for everything. You've helped me so much, so much.
that makes my heart very happy. Thank you,
Oh,
Emily. Thanks for being here. You're awesome.
yes. Thank you.
I'm so glad you listened in today. I hope you have gained some helpful insights and inspiration regarding dealing with and recovering from concussions. My goal is to create more awareness and education about concussions and the fact that there is so much that can be done to improve life after someone has had one. Help me spread the message by liking, commenting, rating, and subscribing to this podcast, and share it with others who would benefit from hearing it. There are more resources available on my website. And again, if you or someone you love would benefit from concussion coaching, sign up for a free consultation using the link in the show notes or at my website, www.theconcussioncoach.com. Thank you. See you next time, and take good care of that amazing brain of yours.